Hi, my name is Elizabeth. Welcome to my channel. I am talking about the fact that I bought a new home and then a week after I found out that the firm I work for is closing and I'm being made redundant, which was appalling timing for me personally. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I created a short list of my possible options. A lot of that is from the help of my subscribers and all of their wonderful comments. And I'm also going to be running through what actions I've taken in the last week to kind of progress those ideas. Now, for a little bit of context, I still have employment until a week today, and then I am officially jobless, which is not great when you have a mortgage and a toddler and you're a single parent. So I'm a single parent. I am struggling to find work online at the moment because everything is full-time and a lot of it is office-based as well. And I can only do part-time because I only have part-time childcare because childcare is extortionate. So my daughter is in nursery 3 days a week, so I can work full days those days, but then the other 2 days I really can't work with her. And even if she's at home, working with a toddler is very, very difficult. So I ended up taking everyone's wonderful comments and suggestions from my YouTube videos that I've previously posted about my redundancy. I'm still getting suggestions and comments on those, so thank you very much. But I took all of those and I did in fact chuck them into ChatGPT and I got it to pull it all together, put it into a table for me and group all of the different suggestions. There were things that I could do right now. This wasn't all work-based. Some of this was things like go and speak to citizens' advice, see what potential benefits you might be entitled to, that type of thing. So I split it down into what I can do right now, what I could do going forward work-wise, and what I would need training for work-wise, and then anything else. Once I had that list, I kind of then went through and decided what I felt I was qualified to do or not to do. I have not opted to do any of the suggestions that require training because I need a job now, basically. What I have done is continued to apply for things online. I'm even applying for full-time things, which is ridiculous because I can't do a full-time role, but I'm not even hearing back from those. I have been applying to jobs on freelancer websites. I have been searching for jobs on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I have to say, makes my skin crawl. I've never liked it as a platform. Everything I see on there is kind of a, I'm an expert in this field and this is my opinion and I just don't like it. But so I've spent a lot of time on there in the last 7 weeks and I still hate the platform. That aside though, my LinkedIn hate, I've been applying for jobs on LinkedIn. I've also cold called or cold emailed companies that I think my skill set would be useful to. That hasn't worked, but that is something I have been doing. I have also been thinking about businesses that I would like to run. My day job is operations manager. I spend all my time running other people's businesses. And some of these businesses are successful, some of them are not, but part of me thinks, set up your own business. My issue is what business? Will it be successful? Is capital needed? All that stuff. So I'm working on an idea at the moment, which I'll go into in more detail. And then I've also got gardening as another suggestion, which I have some previous experience with. I've done gardening work for my sister, who is a full-time gardener. That's back in COVID times. I thoroughly enjoy gardening and being outside and everything else. And I think it would be, for me, a good job, but it's quite seasonal. And so I want something else to go alongside that. I do also sell candles and honey at markets and online. Again, that always seems to be quite seasonal. I tend to do a lot better at Christmas with that. My website is always live. I do markets throughout the year, but Christmas seems to be when I make the most sales. So I'm afraid I'm going in the wrong order here from what I just listed off there. But actions that I have done in this past week, or that I'm going to be doing this week for each of those different areas. I will continue to apply for jobs that I see come up and that I think I have the skill set and the experience for, I will still do that. I've not had any response to anything on there yet, but I will continue to do that. Gardening. I now have a leaflet. This is probably going to be backwards for you on the camera, but I now have my leaflets printed. They arrived yesterday. So this week I will be doing a leaflet drop in a particular village that I have decided I think would be a good target. And I'll go out with my daughter and we'll do a leaflet drop. I've got some other villages as well that I've got noted as well that I think would be a good area for me to target. So throughout the next week or so, I will be doing leaflet drops. Now, if you watched my last video, you will know that I did have my first gardening consultation last week. I didn't get that job. Someone that's trying to sell her parents' home. So her parents have unfortunately gone into a home, but she needed a big clear up job done before the weekend because they were having viewings. I went to go and view it on a Wednesday, which is the last day I have childcare for the week. There was no way I was going to be able to do a clear up job on the Thursday or Friday ready for her. So I didn't get that one, but there were reasons why. So that hasn't knocked me too much. I will continue to scour Facebook groups and things like that, looking for gardening roles, and I'll do my leaflet drop as well. So that's that one. Freelance work. So I have continued to look on LinkedIn for things. I've applied to different things on there. And I have returned to Upwork. Now, I used to use Upwork. I used to freelance. And I have returned to the world of Upwork, which back in COVID times, I was very successful at, and I got good roles on there. I then had long-term roles with different companies as a freelancer, and so didn't use that platform anymore. Now that I've gone back in, it has changed somewhat. And I don't like it. It's a race to the bottom of who can charge the least for the most amount of work, which isn't good. That being said, I did get an interview. I've got 2 interviews actually this week from that platform. One interview that I had this morning, which I think went quite well. And then I've got another one this afternoon. So fingers crossed for that one. If you want another video on freelancing and the ins and outs of that and how you find work as a freelancer, let me know and I will do a video dedicated to that if that's going to be helpful for people. So we'll see how those interviews go. Fingers crossed. That'll be some freelance work that comes in. Freelance work works for me because I can do it part-time around my child. So freelance does work. And then there was my additional business idea, which at the moment is the craft class workshops that I could do in different places. I had a meeting last week with a lady who does yoga and Pilates classes in lots of different locations. So I went and had a meeting with her and she told me the best ways to kind of get in front of people, which was actually through like the local village, like leaflets and things like that, which I would never have thought of before, but that's how she got in front of people in these target locations. So I'm going to take her advice on that. I also had a meeting with a local gin bar as a potential location for some evening classes for adults. And I'm looking into doing some children's classes throughout the summer holidays. So this week I need to get DBS checked, look for some locations that are easily accessible for parents, decide on the classes. I've done a lot of research on what craft classes I think children would like to do, what age range I think would be suitable for them, and class numbers. So I just need to start sitting down, compiling that together, testing out some crafts, and then really promoting that ready for the summer holidays. So I think I'm at the right point now to start promoting that and see if there is any interest for that. So that's where I am at the moment. So lots of bits and pieces moving. I'm trying to be as proactive as possible and not panic because, like I said, I've got a week today left of employment. It'll all be fine and it'll work itself out. If you have any questions or suggestions or anything you specifically want me to talk about, then please just let me know in the comments. That'd be great. If this has been helpful to you, then please like and subscribe. That'd be great. And I will update you next week on the next lot of actions that I have completed. Hopefully, I would have heard back from my job interviews, my freelance interviews, and hopefully I would have done my first completed leaflet drops. So fingers crossed I might hear back from some people from those. But in the meantime, have a lovely week.